Okay guys, so welcome to this video. I want to talk about how to create magnetic offers, because if you think about it, this is one of the most vital parts to focus on when building really any type of business. Now, obviously I'm going to talk about e-commerce and digital products here, but this applies across the board. Whatever business you start, if you have an incredible offer, you're way more likely to get sales. Ultimately, this is going to boost your conversion rate and it's going to make your ads perform better because more people are going to be taking you up on the offer, right? So like I said, this just applies across the board. Don't think it needs to be just for e-commerce. An offer is an offer. The bigger the better, the bigger the offer, the more likely you're going to get sales, right? So let's jump straight into this because it's a little bit confusing for complete beginners. If you've not really understood offers before, then I'm going to kind of explain it in this video. So firstly, let's start with the basics then. So what actually is an offer? Because a lot of people confused the product with the offer, but they're two different things, right? The product is the product on its own. The offer is what you can package that product up as, if that kind of makes sense. But let's move on. So your product is what you sell. Your offer is how you sell it, okay? So it's everything wrapped around the product, the price, the bonuses, the guarantee, the promise, the delivery, the payment terms, and the urgency. So the offer is the deal that you put in front of people, right? So how are you presenting your product? What offer is included when they purchase that product? That's the thing to really focus on there. So if I told you I was selling a plain water bottle for £10, you'd probably laugh, right? But if I said to you that bottle came from a glacier filtered through volcanic rock, delivered to your door every day before 8 a.m. with your name etched onto the glass, then that obviously sounds a lot better. Suddenly you're now thinking about it, right? And that's the power of an offer. It's the things that are included, right? So in this example, you know, we're not just selling the bottle of water. We're selling a service. We're selling a, you know, it's more than a product. It's the fact that it gets delivered to your door before 8 a.m. It's got your name etched on the glass and it literally, you know, it gets filtered through the volcanic rock, right? So it's not, the way we position this product is how we can start to create an incredible offer, a magnetic offer. So the product didn't change. The value did. The value we provide with that product changed, right? And the truth is, most people don't have a traffic problem. They're already getting loads of traffic. They don't even have a product problem, right? They've probably got a fantastic product and a fantastic, you know, amount of traffic coming through, but they have an offer problem because the store is not converting properly. It's very low conversion rate. You can check this out on your Shopify. If it's below sort of 2.5–3%, then you're probably on the lower side, and it's worth trying to work up to that 3%, because if you know, every 100 people, that's 3 people are purchasing essentially. So that's what we want. Any less than that, this is where we're going to start to struggle. So let's say we only get 1 purchase every 100 people, which is obviously 1%. That means in order to get 3 sales, we need to get 300 people to our store, which is, you know, we're tripling the amount of traffic that we need to get the same amount of orders, right? So they're trying to sell something that sounds exactly like everyone else's, and you know, this is normal. You know, there's lots of competition across many different businesses, but how can we position our product to make it sound better than the competition? Because we're going to win if we do that. So when your offer just blends in, people end up just scrolling past. So the goal isn't to shout louder, it's to make a deal so good people feel stupid saying no. As Alex Hormozy always says, and I take a lot of inspiration from him, he creates the most incredible offers, and the proof is in the pudding, it works. That's what an offer does. So let's start here then. It starts with the market. There's a saying I love: a starving crowd beats a perfect burger. If you put the best burger stand in an empty street, you'll go broke. But if you set up a below average burger stand outside a football stadium at 9 p.m. when everyone is starving, you'll sell out, right? We've all seen this. If you've ever been to like a festival or some sort of nightclub or event, and there's always these little burger trucks or, you know, these fast food sort of trucks with pretty low quality food, but they're always really expensive prices. And there's almost always a huge queue outside of it, right? Because it doesn't matter, you know, about the quality of the product. There's so much demand there and people are starving. they will most likely eat anything, right? And that's the main thing to focus on there. So that is what we want essentially. We want starving demand. In e-commerce, that means you solve a problem people already spend money on. So we're not going away and trying to create a product or a brand that nobody knows about, or, because they're not going to trust the product. They're not going to see it as a potential, solution to their problem. This is why it's always important to think about what other people are selling this product already very well, and how can we come in there and just create a better offer, right? It's just creating a better version of what they already have. The demand's already there. We're just tapping into that demand with our much better thing and offer that is going to be more appealing to the customer. So for an example, supplements for sleep, you've got skincare for acne, organization tools for busy mums, gym gear for beginners embarrassed to start, and digital products. It's all the same, right? Solve a painful, urgent felt problem. Make your first sale online, for example. Lose 10 pounds in 5 weeks. Plan your content in one evening. If you sell vitamins, you'll struggle. But if you sell painkillers, you'll print money, right? We've all seen the big pharmaceutical companies, how they sell all these, crazy products, right? And because people need the products, they're worth trillions of dollars. It's a massive market. Whereas if you try and sell these just simple vitamins, simple supplements that don't really solve any particular problem or a big enough problem, then this is where it's a little bit harder to tap into, because they're just not needed. They're more of a want rather than a need. Next up then, we've got don't fall in love with your niche. So people get stuck thinking their idea is special. It's not. The market decides. You might love dog collars or camera straps or wellness journals, but if a customer isn't already buying, then it doesn't really matter. Here's a better question to ask. So who already buys similar things every single week? Find where the money already flows and step in front of it. And that's kind of like some of the best advice that I ever heard, because I at one point wanted to really create my really unique brand that nobody had ever seen this product before, and this is incredibly hard to do. So as a beginner, as someone getting into this online space, wanting to create a product-based business, I would recommend just looking for what's already out there and just trying to create a different variation from what already exists, and just try to make yours slightly better or slightly different, or maybe the messaging behind it targets a different type of person, right? So if you're selling to broke people, your product needs to be dirt cheap. So think about students, right? I use this example all the time, but students don't have much money. It's a known thing, especially in the UK and maybe America, but students just don't really have that much money to spend. And this is why you see some brands like, for example, My Protein. They used to be really, really cheap, but they had to put their prices up because they realized that, their main target audience were students, and the profit margins were so small because they're selling these supplements to, students that go to the gym for as little as they can. So the volume that they need to sell at is a lot greater than just pricing your product as a more premium option where you can sell less and make more profit. If you're selling to rich people, it can be premium. That's this is the big thing, right? If we're speaking to people with money, people that are willing to part ways with a decent chunk of money, then it's a lot easier to get sales. It's a lot easier to actually make profit, right? Without selling thousands of the volume in the volume of thousands, right? We can sell like hundreds and still make the same amount. It's easier to sell £100 product to someone with £5,000 disposable income than a £20 product to someone with none. Right? It's like trying to sell to homeless people, right? You're not going to have a very successful business there, because guess what? Homeless people don't really have much money. So serve people who can pay, not just people who you relate to. Why offers matter then? So now let's get tactical. A good offer does 3 things. 1, it makes your product sound different. 2, it increases the perceived value without increasing the cost. Very important. And 3, it makes people buy faster and more confidently. And the better your offer gets, the easier everything else becomes. your ads perform better, your word of mouth grows, you spend less time convincing and more time fulfilling. The mistakes that beginners make then. So I see this all the time. Most beginners try to compete on price. Now, if you go to places like Etsy, this is why I don't advise people use Etsy to sell their, digital products, for example, because it's a race to the bottom. Everyone's competing on price. Everyone's trying to outdo each other, get more sales, and they're all on this marketplace where they're selling very similar items. And the only way to win is to price your product cheaper, which is just a race to the bottom. So typically, people like to lower their margins. They cut prices to look competitive, and that's a race to the bottom, remember. So you can't win by being the cheapest. You win by being the most valuable. And that starts with understanding what value actually means. So let's talk about the value equation then. So this is, again, from Alex Hormozy, and I think he breaks it down nice and simple. So I'm going to talk you through the understandings behind what he's actually talking about here. So every offer lives and dies from one simple formula. This is the formula. So we have dream outcome times the perceived likelihood of achievement divided by time delay times effort and sacrifice. So let me break that down a little bit for you. So the dream outcome, what is the outcome that the client or customer wants? The perceived likelihood of achievement. So say if in your product you're promising some sort of achievement, what is the likelihood that they're actually going to achieve that? And then of course we've got time delay. So how long is it going to take? Is it going to take to achieve that? And then the effort and sacrifice. So how much effort or how much sacrifice are they going to need to make to get the end result? So this equation is essentially what value is. Let me explain it some more then. So people buy when they believe your thing will give them the result they want. Quickly, easily, and within minimal risk. So your job, increase the top part of that equation, make the dream bigger, make it feel more believable, and decrease the bottom. So make it feel faster, make it feel easier. We want people to do less work. We want to give them the answers they need, the results to get there as fast as possible. So again, increase the top, decrease the bottom. That's it. That's the formula. So you're probably thinking right now, bloody hell, this is confusing. So let me break it down for you. Let's start with the dream outcome then. So what do they actually want? So no one buys a protein shaker, they buy progress in the gym, right? So if you're buying a shaker, you're buying it because you're going to the gym. You want to start taking some protein supplements or, start taking supplements in general, and you want somewhere where you can mix the shaker, right? No one buys a planner, they buy clarity and control, right? They're trying to be more organized, so they buy in the planner for a reason. No one buys a course, they buy confidence that they can try and do something new. You're not selling the thing, you're selling the result of the thing. So next we have perceived likelihood of success. So they have to believe that it'll work for them, basically. That's why proof matters. So testimonials, screenshots, photos, before and after stories, essentially that's what builds belief, right? This is why it's so important that on your store you need to display trust and belief, and we do this by highlighting reviews and all these good things, right? And you could even add things like UGC content from customers, anything that can display the belief that it's going to work. People don't buy when they understand, they buy when they believe. So next up, time delay. So how long will it take to get a result? The shorter the delay, the higher the value. That's why 7-day skin reset sounds better than just a comprehensive skin routine, right? It's got a number on it for one, so it just sounds more, achievable. It sounds 7-day, right? The delay, there's no delay there because you're going to be able to do this thing in 7 days. The other one is a little bit murky. It's not really being clear on what we're going to actually get here. The point is it feels immediate. So always build a quick win into whatever product you're selling. So I guess this is more so for people who are doing like a digital product, coaching sort of offer program. Can you build a quick win into that straight away so people feel like they're making progress? Because if they feel like they're making progress, it's going to boost their motivation and it's going to allow them to be more disciplined and see through the whole thing. So something they can see or feel working straight away, basically. So next up, we have effort and sacrifice. So the harder it feels, the less their pay. The easier it feels, the more their pay. That's why done for you beats do it yourself. So rather than teaching someone to do something, people in a position would rather pay for that work to be done, so it saves all that time, right? It's the effort and sacrifice of learning these things. People in some positions would rather just pay to have that done straight away. And this is why supplements outsell workouts, because people believe that the supplement is going to get them the desired result a lot quicker, a lot easier. This is why, there's a massive epidemic of steroid abuse, because people believe that steroids and, these chemicals that we can inject into our bodies and put into our bodies are going to shortcut that success. And people are willing to risk their health and a lot of money to get that result without doing the workouts, right? Now, that's an extreme example, but it just proves the point. People would rather pay for things to get work done. Now, I've seen this in the news recently. There's these new, I can't remember what the drug is called, but it's for people to lose more fat, or it does something to do with losing fat. It restricts your metabolism. I'm not really 100% sure, but the point is people are going out and they're risking taking this medicine or drug rather than just being consistent with the gym, right? If you're consistent and dedicated with the gym for 6 months, you're going to get the same result. But people want that shortcut, and people are willing to risk and pay for that shortcut. Why templates outsell lessons? The easier the path, the higher the value, basically. So next up, what is an irresistible offer? An irresistible offer is your product plus everything that removes doubt, speeds up the win, and makes it feel safe to buy. It's the bonuses, guarantees, payment options, delivery, and urgency, all stacked to make yes the obvious choice. So let's build one together then. So we'll start with the core product. This is the main promise. So we want this to be clear, specific, and outcome based. So for example, a bad version of this would be learn to take better photos, right? A good version of this would be shoot pro level photos on your phone this weekend with no fancy gear needed, right? Straight to the point, makes it sound nice and easy. It's a far better offer. Another one, which is bad, so skincare for dry skin. And a good one would be get glowing, hydrated skin in 7 days, or it's on us, right? So we're following that up with an incredible guarantee there. If they don't get results, then it's on us, and we give them the money back, refund them, whatever the thing is. That's clarity, and that's a promise. So now we need to stack the bonuses. So every objection needs its own bonus. So let's say that, for example, they think it takes too long. So this is where we can add a quick start guide. Let's say they think they mess it up. We can add templates or examples. Let's say they think they're quit. We can add accountability or a community. Let's say they think it's too complicated. Well, let's just add a video tutorial. Each bonus kills one fear. So let's talk more about some examples with e-com brands. So you could be selling a cold brew coffee kit, for example, right? Instead of a cold brew kit priced at £49, your offer is brew barista level coffee at home in 10 minutes. And the bonuses with this particular product could be a cold brew recipe guide. This could be a digital product. We could offer some sort of cleaning kit, and we could have a free coffee journal. And to follow it up with a 30-day taste test guarantee. So if you don't love it, you get your money back, right? So we've just turned a simple rubbish product listing into an incredible offer with amazing bonuses that actually complement the main product. This is what we want to be thinking about doing. So obviously every product is going to change massively, but it's about thinking outside the box. What would complement this main product? What would go with this to make it feel like a complete kit rather than just a standalone product? Because that's how we're going to win. We're going to increase our average order value. We're going to make more money, more profit. That's the important bit, guys. So yeah, it's not a kit anymore, right? It's an experience. they're purchasing an experience. So let's talk about a digital product version. So let's say you sell a photography starter pack. So a good core offer for this would be take pro quality photos on your phone in 3 days. And some of the bonuses that come with this could be a preset editing pack, lighting cheat sheet, caption prompts for posting your shots. If your photos don't get more likes in a week, full refund, right? Really strong offer. You're not selling the lessons, you're selling instant confidence behind the camera. So it's important to think about the deeper meanings behind what we're trying to sell and why people would essentially buy, right? People are not buying just because they want the product. There's usually an underlying reason for why they actually want to purchase our products. Even if it's a clothing brand, right? People are not buying clothing to just cover themselves up. They're buying it for confidence, for identity, for uniqueness. People buy into brands because they believe it makes them feel more comfortable in their own skin. So these are the deeper reasons that we need to think about. So let's say we're thinking about building some form of community or membership program, right? Some form of digital product. We could create a finance accountability group, and the core offer with this could be, save £1,000 this year with weekly challenges and expert Q&As. And some of the bonuses that we could include: a monthly savings tracker, guest workshops on budgeting, access to Ask the Expert threads, and save at least £100 in your first month, or your next month is free. Again, another incredible offer. So it's no longer just a community. It's now, a reason to join because they're going to save money ultimately, right? They're joining a community. Even if they pay for that community, the end result of joining the community is for them to actually save money. So it's in their best interest because we've worded the offer really extremely powerful. It's now a magnetic offer. Now it's not a community, it's a results machine. So let's talk about guarantees then. Guarantees kill fear. They make people feel safe to act. So, some businesses can say things like, if it doesn't work, we'll just refund you, right? Simple as that. If it doesn't work, we'll just send your money back. If you don't get results, we'll just keep helping you until you do. If you break it, well, we'll replace it. Guarantees turn what if it fails into what if it actually works. Price it right. So stop trying to win by being cheap, like we've already discussed. Nobody brags about buying the cheapest parachute. Price your offer so it feels premium, but fair. People should say, wow, that's a lot, but it's worth it, right? It's totally worth it. That's the goal. Use real scarcity. Scarcity makes people move, but only if it's real. Fake timers kill trust. Instead, use limited stock, limited spots, closing date for enrollment. People value what's limited, and then we need to stack proof. So proof is the ultimate sales tool. This is where we can show screenshots, we can show reviews, we can show results. When people see others winning, the belief goes up. And when belief goes up, buying becomes easy. So quick recap then. So every great offer does 9 things. Number 1, it solves a painful problem. Number 2, it sells a dream outcome. Number 3, it feels believable. Number 4, delivers quick wins. Number 5, it feels easy to use. Number 6, it's backed by proof. Number 7, it removes risk. Number 8, it has real scarcity, not fake scarcity. And number 9, it feels like a bargain. So if you can check all 9, then you've got an incredible offer. So takeaway for ecom brands then. So you can turn single product kits into, let's say for example, a 7-day starter set or a home transformation pack. So it's all about taking your products and seeing if you can bundle these up and package them into more of an experience, more of a solution to the customer's problem. You can add digital bonuses. So this is something that I've been implementing in the last sort of year, and it's really powerful, right? We can just stack a digital product on top of the physical product to make it sound better. It increases the perceived value of what the customer's actually seeing, right? So rather than just let's say a £25 harness, they're now getting a harness, a lead, a collar, plus an ebook on how to train their new puppy, right? And we can call this the new puppy starter kit, or whatever it needs to be, right? And now the customer is getting an experience, right? They're getting the full bundle that's all matching, it all looks amazing. It's everything they need in one place, plus they're getting all this crazy value to actually train their dog at home. So, you could add things like how-to videos, challenges, setup guides. Again, it depends on what sort of product we're selling. We can use guarantees, so results in 7 days, or it's free. I'll just touch on actually some examples here, because there's a really good, I know I always talk about Manscaped a lot, but I think they've got a really good offer basically, and I want to just show you guys, because they've got these incredible bundles on their homepage pretty near the top of the screen. So this is clearly what they're pushing as their main product, right? They've even listed it as a bestseller. So I don't know if it is a bestseller, but they're telling us it is a bestseller. This is another good way of making people believe that this product is selling very well, right? So let's look at the offer then. So they bundled all these pieces together and they call it the all-in-one grooming kit. So the performance package 5.0 Ultra. So straight away you can see there in the corner that you've got a 30-day money back guarantee, which is powerful, right? So if you don't like it, you can send it back within 30 days, no questions asked. So you've got what the kit includes, and you've also got some free gifts. And this is where we can get smart, because they are telling us that a pair of boxers, just one pair of boxers, and a toiletry bag is worth £62. Now, we know that from the supplier, they're probably getting these boxes for £1 or £2 max, right? The toiletry bag, maybe a couple of pounds from the supplier. So, all in, they're probably spending about £5 max on these free products. But they're telling us it's worth £62. So do you see the discrepancy there? It's increasing the perceived value of the offer, because the customer believes that this crazy value is these free gifts it's a no-brainer to buy this product, because I'm getting these free products that are worth £62. So, not only that, they've heavily discounted the actual product, right? So you save the bundle, sorry. So you save 36% when you buy all these products in this bundle, plus you get the free gifts. So it's very clever, it's very structured, very obvious what they're doing. To me, it might not be to you, but that's why I'm trying to show you guys how you can position your products, position your offer as a no-brainer, right? And they've even got more offers down here, right? So if you sign up to what looks like the VIP member price, which makes no sense, because that is the same price as that. So I'm not sure what they're doing there. Maybe they've made a mistake. I presume that the VIP member price would be even cheaper than the normal one, right? But this is just a good example. This is obviously, something that we can all work towards. If we're selling products, let's see how we can create bundles that look like this. And you could, like I said, you could add a digital product in here as a free gift. You could add cheap, low ticket items like this as a free gift. Let's look at another example. So this is a water filter brand called Water 2. And you can see some of the bundles that they're offering here. So, you can buy one for £129, which looks like it's just the filtered water. If you want to filter fluoride, however, which most people will, then you need to buy two, which right now is the best value. You save 13% by buying them together. And not only that, I saw down here, it looks like you have a 100-day money back guarantee. So again, I'll just zoom in a bit there so you guys can see. So if you don't love it, you can return it back in 100 days. So incredible, right? So it takes that risk away from purchasing this product, because they can return it. If they don't like it, then it's simple as just sending it back. But what you'll find is most people won't do that, because it's actually a lot of effort, and people end up just keeping the product. So what else have they got? They've got the guarantee up here as well. They've got some trust here. So this is what I'm talking about as well, guys. So you can see by the amount of reviews they have, it's building incredible trust, incredible credibility as well. They've got their what looks like a magazine sort of good food rating up here as well. They're talking about how many homes, UK homes, that their product is currently installed in. So 150,000. I mean, all of these things, on the surface don't look like much, but what they're doing is they're, the things we just talked about, right? They're displaying this trust. They're getting you to believe that this product actually works and it's going to give you the result. So anyone that's going to look at this website who's interested in filtering their water because they've seen one of the ads that's showing you how dangerous the water is and how much crap is in the actual, chemicals in the water, they're telling you the problem, and then they're providing a solution to the problem on their website, which is the water filter. And then all of these things just back up how much of a incredible product it is. So, they've even got free shipping. Now, this isn't the best designed website, I'd say. It's okay. It's not the best, but, they're clearly making a lot of money, right? And then we've got crafted. So this is another good example. I mean, a little bit more basic, because when you're selling a more of a luxury premium item, then you don't necessarily need to do offers and bundles too much, because most premium brands don't typically do this, like proper premium. People that are sort of targeting, let's say, for example, Apple, right? Apple's a really premium brand. They typically don't do offers or discounts, or if they do, it's very minimal and very rare that they actually do that. So, they're just so big now that they don't need to. But if you're at the start of your journey, then this is where offers and bundles come in, because we need to start getting these customers. So what are Crafted doing then? It looks like you can buy the chain on its own for £59, or you could buy the chain, what looks like another chain, for £85. So they're just pairing it with another chain basically and getting you to spend a little bit more money, spend closer to that £80-90 range, even £100 by the looks of it. And just increasing the AOV, right? Increasing the average order value, which again, in turn, is going to make them more profit over time. So what have they got on here? They've got some guarantees here. So again, there you go. A really strong guarantee, right? So they're actually promising that it's going to last you a lifetime. So this is a really strong offer. So they're literally saying, if you buy one of our pieces of jewelry, if it breaks at all, if it's damaged, if something goes wrong with it, then we've got you. They've got us, right? So again, really, really strong offer, taking away all the risk there, because you can just buy it, and if it breaks, message them and they'll probably send you another one. So just 3 really good examples, some more extreme than others, but I just wanted to kind of show you how we can start to piece this together on our own stores. So So what else have we got then? So we've got guarantees, we've got urgency, so free shipping this week only, for example. Maybe we're doing a special deal this week. We're trying to build some real urgency. And then build proof. So just post reviews, post UGC, post anything from customers that are giving you some good feedback, and just make other people see that stuff as well. It's as simple as that. Don't overcomplicate this stuff. All we're trying to do is build the proof. Small tweaks, big results. So let's talk about the digital product stuff then, digital creators. So the important thing to note here is we're not selling PDFs, we're selling the outcomes in a time frame. Add tools, checklists, and templates. You can include accountability, challenges, trackers, or feedback calls. This is something that I like to do. So I just try to keep people accountable by constantly messaging them, constantly, jumping on calls and voice noting people. This just holds a layer of accountability. Use a performance guarantee, raise your price, increase value, don't cut cost, remember. People buy clarity, certainty, and speed. Takeaways for memberships or communities then. So people don't pay for access, they pay for progress. If you build a clear path with milestones, it's going to be way more powerful. So you can add structure, challenges, workshops, rewards, show member wins publicly. You can cap new signups to create real scarcity. So the one thing with scarcity, I see this all the time on social media where people constantly there's one particular type of person I can think of who is constantly trying to make it obvious that the price is going up on this particular product that he's selling, right? And for months on end, they say they're increasing prices, but they never actually do. What they're doing there is they're trying to build fake scarcity because they're not actually putting up the price, because they know deep down if they put that price up, then realistically no one's gonna, it's a little bit steep at that price, no one's gonna purchase, right? But by doing this, they are tricking people into believing that you need to sign up now, otherwise you're going to end up spending X amount more, right? So it's fake scarcity. So I have no problem with real scarcity. That's absolutely fine, but just make sure you don't overdo this, because people will see right through it, and this will do the opposite of what you're intending to do. This will actually start to decrease the trust that you're trying to build, and the idea is to build trust, right? So communities with outcomes thrive. So we're not just trying to create a community that is just a random community that lives on the internet, right? What is the outcome of the community? Why would people join? What are people getting out of being inside that community? These are the sort of questions we need to ask ourselves if we want to go down this route. Communities without outcomes fade. So I will leave you with this important fact. Every time your business stalls, just ask yourself, do I need more traffic or do I need a better offer? Remember what I spoke about, the conversion rate? If you're getting 100 people in your store every day and your conversion rate is 1%, if you just increase that to 2 or 3%, that's an extra 2 sales that you're going to get every single day, which ultimately makes you more profit. So you make more money, right? So it's not always about getting more traffic. Sure, traffic is great to have, and you can get more of that later, but it's vitally important that we focus on the conversion rate. We focus on the offer. We want to get sales with the offer we have right now before we start to go and spend thousands of pounds on ads. And the reason is because every great offer fixes almost anything, right? Your ads work better. Your word of mouth grows. People start saying yes faster. You don't have to shout. You just have to make the deal so good that people feel stupid saying no, as Alex Hormozy says. That's how you win. So congratulations, you now know how to make irresistible offers, and this will really help you out. Whatever business you want to create or you are creating, just really think about how you can package your product in a different way and incorporate all these bonuses, incorporate this incredible, these guarantees, this proof that you can display to make the packaging around that product just perform better.